Hello, fellow model builders. This is our novelty show for the end of 2025. So here you see everything we are just presenting at ScaleModel World 25 in Telford. And as a special thank you to you as our community, you all get a discount code Telford20 that gives you 20% off on every order over 40 euros in our brand new shop on Revell.com. and the code is Telford20. And now let's look at all our novelties that are shown in Telford from January 26 to April 26. Have fun. Bye. Yes. Hello and welcome to our little Telford news show. So everybody who is in Telford now might have seen some of our novelties already. And this one goes out right after the doors have opened, right?
Hi. Yes. Yeah, correct. Hopefully this goes out about an hour after doors have opened at Telford. So if you're at the show, you maybe get a bit of an exclusive, but for those that can't make it to the show, you're not missing out too much when it comes to Revell.
So let's start right in. We have a lot to cover in this episode. Something a lot of people are going to ask is, what about the Gloster Meteor when is it coming out? Do you have any news?
Yes, so we're recording this in October, and so my news might be slightly dated by the time we get to Telford, but as we speak, all the extra components included within the first edition are now on order or arrived in stock. The only thing we're waiting on at the moment is the book, but that was signed off yesterday, so hopefully 2 to 3 weeks. And then the tools are due to arrive next week as we speak. So it's all looking good that as you're walking the halls of Telford, there's some lovely people packing the items in Bunda in Germany. So we're hoping a week or two after Telford, stock will be available. So, my best salesman, get your orders in now because they're limited to 3,000 pieces.
Oh, I'm really excited how fast they are going to be sold, especially this first edition with all the extra stuff in it.
We're about 2/3 sold through already. So
wow.
Again, as we speak at the start of October. So when we get to Telford, maybe they're all gone. I don't want to pressure people too much. One thing to mention, the imagery that we have on the screen. So the box has been finalised and is on order. It's a 2-piece box, which I know will make people happy. So it's a lid and tray. And on the back, we don't normally print the back of these boxes, but because it's a first edition, we thought we'd put some extra information on there, showing the schemes, the extras you get, and the model images. So yeah, it's really coming together. We're quite proud of it as a product. I know that around Telford, a lot of reviews will start to appear in magazines and on YouTube. Hopefully, they're all positive. From what I've heard, people are saying it's one of the best kits they've built this year or ever. So hopefully that stays the case, and go buy one.
Yeah. Okay, so then we jump into the new products that are coming out from January to April that are also shown in Telford. Tell us a little bit about the Messerschmitt.
Yeah, so we're bringing back the Messerschmitt 109 G10, the Erler, and this is a straight re-release of a product that we had out about probably 10 to 15 years ago now. So it'll be the same schemes and same illustration, but it's a kit that's been wanted for a while. This tooling has been available. Most recently is the G2 and the G4 version. The G10 hasn't been available for a long time now. So we thought it time to bring it back. And on the front, you have Hartmann's scheme, obviously one of the most famous pilots in the Lufthansa. So yes, new decals. Same schemes. The decals will be cartograph, which will make people happy. And yes, there you are.
Could you say that the whole range of the BF 109 is one of the most popular airplane models?
Definitely. 109s, Spitfires, Hurricanes. They are the bread and butter of a model kit company. So you'll see lots of 109s, particularly late 109s recently, coming out from other manufacturers. And this is just because it's one of the most popular aircraft type there is.
Yeah. And last question: what is the special thing about the Erla?
So it's manufactured by Erla, so there are some slight differences compared to other ones, essentially,
Ah, okay.
without getting too nerdy.
Yeah, when it's going to come out in January, we are going to nerd out about that one, definitely.
Yeah, we'll save it for the news show.
Yes. Okay, so next one is the Eurofighter Typhoon.
Yes, so the observant amongst you will see that it's a display jet. We haven't gone back 80 years and the Typhoons are taking part in D-Day, but this was painted up to commemorate 80 years since D-Day in the 2024 display season, and it's really striking. So it carries the D-Day stripes, obviously, and it represents a Typhoon, the original Typhoon, Hawker Typhoon, that flew during D-Day and around that time. So during the season, it carried those markings, but obviously the rest of the year it didn't, or the previous year it didn't. So ZJ913 that you see there also carried standard squadron markings, and I'm pleased to say that we're also including those within the kit. So quite often we'll do a special livery, and that's all you get in the box. This time, for those that don't like special liveries, there is also a standard jet, if you like grey things. So two marking options of the same aircraft in there. And before anyone asks, the D-Day stripes are decals. You can paint them. We'll give both options, but we thought we'd give the choice.
Okay, nice. And then we have this beauty here, the Super Constellation in the Lufthansa livery.
Yes, so for those that don't know, 2026, Lufthansa is celebrating 100 years. Lufthansa has a complicated history, obviously, and the Lufthansa you see today isn't the Lufthansa of 1926, but nonetheless, that name was founded in 26 and they started flying. So to commemorate that, there's a few events going on in the real world, as well as the scale modelling world. So recently, some may have seen that Lufthansa have restored their Superstar, which is an upgraded Super Constellation, essentially, into this livery that you see here. And so, to coincide with the 100th anniversary, we're bringing back our Super Constellation, which hasn't been in the range for more than a decade now, but is a really, really nice little kit. And obviously, it will feature Lufthansa decals, as you see there. Yeah. Hopefully, it's one of two in the range that's coming out in this first part of the year to celebrate 100 years of Lufthansa.
Nice. And another Lockheed product, but this one is a little bit different.
A bit faster, you might say.
This with a Lufthansa livery would be killer.
I can't wait to see someone do that. But with the Blackbird, the observant amongst you will see that it's not the same version we've had out before. So previously we had the SR-71A. This is the SR-71B. So there are some differences in the parts. So new parts being released. The most obvious one is the rear cockpit. So this is the trainer version. And so you have two full cockpits rather than obviously the standard one is a twin seat, but with only one pilot. This is for training those aircrew essentially. So we've got NASA markings and also US Air Force markings included in the kit. It's a big thing, so you'll need space. I've already built one, and I've got someone building another for the shows in Germany. So they can attest to how much space it takes up. So make sure you've got a windowsill, a bookshelf, a very big bookshelf to put it on.
What is it about the NASA decals?
So the NASA operated the type as well as the US Air Force for research and development, testing, not spying on Russia. But yeah, so a few of them were used by NASA. There's a famous other version of the SR-71 as well, the C, which had a rude name that I won't repeat here, that was essentially a mishmash of a crashed SR-71 and an A-12, which was the predecessor to the SR-71. They put them together to make another trainer version, and it got its own designation. And so they put two aircraft together. Then they had a problem. It was always yawing 3 degrees. I can't remember which way. It was always yawing 3 degrees one way. So they thought, I think quite rightly, we've put two aircraft together. It must be something to do with that. What it turned out to be was the pitot tube on the front was actually bent by 3 degrees. So,
Oh,
so they were chasing their tails trying to work out the problem.
oh, that is so cool. Yeah, we definitely have to talk about this one when it comes out. I did a podcast about the whole model with Focke when he was product manager back in the day for this product. It lots of stories to tell, and I think we can talk a lot only about the stories of the Blackbird. Okay, cool. Next one, we have the Flitzer.
Yes, so this is the 3rd release in the P series. So every year we're bringing back some of these, what people call Luftwaffe 1946. So projects that were on the drawing board or very early stages, prototypes that would have seen service potentially if the war had carried on. So previously we had the Arado 555, then we had the Messerschmitt 1099A, and now we have the Flitzer at 72nd scale. So as with P series, it will be a straight re-release. So the decals will be the same as the previous release, and the box art is the same in the new P series packaging. And obviously the tooling from 10, 15 years ago, whenever the last release was. So yeah, we're happy to expand the range. People do some really interesting things with these because then it's not as strict in terms of, well, you know, it never wore those colours. It never existed full stop. So a lot of people do a lot of what ifs. I've seen a lot of splinter camouflages like they were in Swedish Air Force service. You can do whatever you want. Maybe a Lufthansa livery like we were saying before, or US Air Force. You can do whatever you want with them. Obviously, we provide German decals with them, but really it's a blank canvas for people to work their magic on.
I mean, if you just look at the form of the Flitzer, you could also paint it in a Rebel Alliance scheme or so, and put it into a Star Wars movie. It looks quite airshipy, I think, like spaceshipy.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of the original Star Wars props and ships, I think we've maybe spoken before, were created from model kits. So yeah, a Star Wars inspired build would be cool.
And for non-German speaking people, Flitzer is on the one hand side is it's something that's moving really fast. Flitzen is to flitz, to move really quickly. Flitzer is also a really specific expression for people, for example, who get naked and run on a football field, on a soccer field. I don't know how those people are called in English, but in German you call them Flitzer.
I've learned something new today, Alex. It's good to know. So for English viewers, it's the Focke Wulf streaker, is what we call those people. Yeah.
Okay, then we have the Blue Angels gift set with a wonderful black and white picture here. I think that's a preliminary picture, but I really like the design here.
Yeah, so as we're sort of recording this early October, there's still a lot of work going on into the Q1, the first quarter releases for 2026. And so what you see there is a preliminary draft. It's what I get sent as the PM to approve the image. We've actually made some changes to this image to make them look like they're not going to crash into each other. But for those that don't know, it's 80 years since the formation of the Blue Angels, which is the US Navy display team. And so we thought we'd try and do something a bit different to commemorate that, having their first aircraft, which was a Hellcat, and their current aircraft, which is an F-18. And so you'll get both in the box with paints and glue. And yeah, you can show the history or the progress of the team over 80 years. Both will have number 1 decals, so they'll be the leader of their respective team. When I was trying to pick an image for this show, I thought, a photo would be great, but obviously they've never flown together in real life. The first and current aircraft of the team, they're 80 years apart. So we can have a lot of artistic freedom when it comes to the box art.
Really looking forward to that. Okay, then we have the Westland Puma. That looks cool.
Yeah, this is the 144 item. So it's a baby little helicopter when you build it up, but it's very, very detailed. I can attest to that, especially for its size. So we've got 2 schemes in the box. We have the one that you see on the front there, which is XW222, which for some friends of Revell, or the aircraft side especially, there's 222 is based at Ulster Aviation Society in a slightly different scheme now, but this is a bit of a nod to them. So it's flying over Northern Irish countryside. And then we have the Gulf War scheme as well. So early 1990s in the sort of sand pink coloured scheme. I can't remember the actual letters for the paint, so I'll let people shout that in the comments. So yeah, 2 schemes, and yeah, April 2026 for that to come out.
Cool. And here we have another Messerschmitt, and is it a new tool?
Yeah, not just another Messerschmitt. This is new parts, so it includes a whole new mold that we've created this year to create the U4 version, which is the big cannon you see sticking out the front of the nose there. So that whole nose section has been redesigned, but the main bulk of the tooling comes from our previous Me262 release at 32nd scale. And then, yeah, essentially from the bulkhead in front of the windscreen, or the line slightly in front of that, I should say, it's all new parts. And so you get a fully detailed cannon to go out the front. And it's a very, very distinctive aircraft because of the huge gun sticking out the front. It was designed as a bomber destroyer. So the idea was, especially in the last days of Nazi Germany, they would fly up and shoot down a bomber in a single round, was the idea.
Wow.
Only 2 were ever made, as far as we know, and the one we'll be showing in the schemes was captured. So we'll show the German markings as it was captured, and then the US Air Force flew it in a few different schemes. So we're going to show the whole history of that aircraft and provide all the different options for it in German, US Air Force, and it had a couple of different names in US Air Force service. So we'll include both of those.
Ah, interesting. Cool. And then our last one for today, another Lufthansa anniversary model kit here.
Yeah, so the second of the anniversary range that we're bringing out, the picture you see at the moment is the standard Lufthansa A350, but they have announced that they'll be repainting an A350 in special markings, yet to be confirmed as we speak, early October. Hopefully I have some information before Telford, so I can get the product on the go, and maybe Alex can edit in the photo afterwards. But yeah, special markings. So as we record, they've announced and shown off a 787 that's been repainted. In a huge scheme, very different to some of the other liveries they've done. This is really all-encompassing for the aircraft, painted in Lufthansa blue with the sort of silhouette of the crane, the bird that's on the tail, spanning the whole aircraft. And so hopefully the A350 that they bring out is as exciting, even more so maybe. And yeah, we'll be providing that as a gift set.
Nice. Then I'm looking forward what Lufthansa is doing next year. That should be quite interesting. I'm also looking forward what Lufthansa is doing next year as anniversary events. That should be an interesting year for them.
Yeah, they're really going all out with the anniversary celebrations. They've repainted the Superstar, as I said. They've got a JU-52 painted up, and I believe that will be displayed alongside the Superstar. Then you've got quite a few different aircraft being painted up in special liveries for the 100th anniversary. So yeah, they've all credit to Lufthansa. They've really gone all out.
Yeah, cool. Then we have everything that we are presenting in the aviation space. Thanks, Luke, for your time. And I would say we talk next time, late November, start of December.
Yes, yeah, looking forward to it. I'll say to the audience, this is only January to April, so keep your eyes and ears peeled for the rest of the 2026 range, which will be sometime in January. Still to be confirmed, but we'll announce the date soon.
We have to have something for Nuremberg as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Last question. Maybe I edit it out. Depends on your answer. But is there something for 2026 planned that goes like in the new tool Gloster area as well that we have to talk about that much as we could talk about the Gloster this year?
We have a couple of new tools coming in 2026. So the first new parts is obviously the 262 that we've just spoken about, but there are some entirely new tools coming.
Nice.
And we'll announce those January time.
Yeah.
Possibly Nuremberg, hopefully a bit before, maybe a bit at both. So as I say, exciting times, and we'll reveal all soon.
Nice. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. Haha. Then, have a great time until then. And we talk again in December.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
All right. Until then, bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Okay. And now I'm joined by Jürgen again. And Jürgen is going to tell us about the vehicles that are going to be seen in Telford and some license stuff. Hi, Jürgen. How are you?
Oh, not bad. I hope you are also fine.
Yes. It's autumn. Best model building weather. All right, so I would say we just start into our quick presentation of what's going on in Telford. Now we are going to start in January, and here we have the GF11 Simba 8x8, a huge fire truck from Frankfurt Airport.
It's being used. As the name GF11 is already pointing out. Used on a really huge aircraft, or let's say airports, such as Frankfurt or Munich. Around half meter long, over 45 centimeters, over 350 parts. So, you should know what you do when you're assembling this stuff. Really huge item. Some elements movable, such as doors can be moved. I name it pistons, what you see on the roof or on the front of it. Where the water or foam is exposed to fire. And it is specifically developed at that time for big airports, and the typical flat front is also done on purpose to come very close to the airports, or let's say to the airplanes, so underneath, under the wings and so on.
Is it what is the base of this vehicle? Is it a military vehicle normally, or is it the base of those big cranes that you can see from time to time?
It's specifically developed for this kind of purpose. It might be used for anything else, but this is specifically done for airports as such. And there, of course, it was used at that time, 1980s, when it was developed with the specific equipment for firefighting purposes. So with the specific equipment for firefighting, it was specific needs, specific mixtures of the foam, huge tanks, and so on. You can see also at the front on the axle how movable it is. So could be steered quite well despite its length. The same what you get nowadays. So it's a kind of representing the status from the 1980s, 1990s. But the item itself is rarely offered by us every 12, 15 years, not more often. So this will be also limited in production. Therefore, who is interested shouldn't wait too long. Otherwise, it could be vanished from the shelves, and then, of course, could be difficult for a collector.
Yeah, difficult or expensive. Okay, next thing we have on our list is an anniversary item again. 50 years of the Golf GTi.
Yeah, the Golf 1 was produced in the form of the GTi 50 years ago. Volkswagen also prepared kind of trailer specifically for this kind of anniversary for this event, and you can see in this spot in the trailer the Golf in exactly this decoration as you have, so with the same number plate, and it's a little bit different to the standard Golf in the spot. At least it has a little bit different bumpers. That is also reproduced in the item, so you can exactly reproduce or create the Golf from the TV spot from Volkswagen. All the standard GTi as you have seen on the street. Left and right hand steering. The Spot is just left hand, therefore the Spot version just allows a left hand assembly, but the standard GTi is equipped with the right hand, dashboard, right hand stuff.
Yeah, and didn't the GTI, or when do you know when the GTI got double lights in the front, or what was this the Golf 2 who got the double?
No. It also had double lights, for example, when it came to the Pirelli version.
Yeah.
More specific. What was always famous and very iconic, it was the characteristics of the item. It's not so obvious here in the moment. On the front grille, there was a red frame around it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so obvious if the car is red, as in this case, but if you have a black car or silver car, then you see the red frame around the grille.
Yeah, they still do those red iconic like little details on the cars in the GTI versions. Yeah, and the golf ball, right? The shift knob was this golf ball form.
Yeah, it's on the gear shift that is a kind of golf-like pattern. So the surface looked like a really golf ball.
Yeah, cool. So then we have the next one, which is a bit newer than 2022 Corvette Cabrio or Convertible.
Some while ago we had brought out the Cube, the closed version, and this is the open variant to the car. So tooling is very, very up to date, really new. Assembly is quite simple despite the higher numbers of parts, but it's very well fitting. The proportions of the parts and assembly is so easy to do, and I think it's for an open car very nice looking.
Yeah, definitely. Really cool design elements on it.
Yeah, you see it sometimes in red, but we had the closed version in red. And just to give it a little bit different appearance and to have a little bit more variation in the assortment, we said we make the blue version, which is also quite often shown on the internet, easy to find.
Yeah. All right, and the next one in February is the Jaguar S100. That is one of a classic.
Totally different. Goes back to the 1930s. So on it's let's say a kind of Formula One at that days, which was named at that time Grand Prix cars, so racing car. And the scale is 1 to 32, around 75 parts. It's a little bit difficult to assemble because the tooling goes back into the 1970s.
Nice.
But the outcome is very nice, as you can see. It clearly shows what you can achieve. We had brought out last year the Mercedes SS KL, also Grand Prix car, and when you put them beside, it's very interesting how differently they looked. Mercedes, it's the very powerful, streamlined version. This one has a huge tire housing, which goes back to the rear tire house. So very, very differently in shape and design, although driving also on Grand Prix. Nowadays you see on Formula One very, very similar shapes, but how different those has been in the 1930s, that's amazing.
Yeah. A really cool car. Is it more difficult to build such a classic car in comparison to a really modern car?
No, it depends. First of all, if you have a modern car, then you have a chance to get CD material. If you get them, then of course it's from the design a little bit more easier to realize and therefore also precise. It's a question of technique. You can do much better stuff than 50 years ago, for example, or 40 years ago.
Okay.
And of course, if you go into a smaller scape, the parts themselves also become a little bit smaller. Then must become a little bit more precise, and that leads to some differences. So, for example, the spokes on the rim are very, very thin. If it's a little bit bigger, then of course you have a little bit more chances and tolerances in the tools, but in a small scale, of course, it's a little bit more difficult to get it very filigree, but stable enough realized.
Okay. And now we are coming to something that I am looking forward to really, really badly. It's a Star Wars product. Maybe you can tell us already something about what's coming in March.
Yeah, it's a long time since the last Star Wars movie came out. The next one is planned for next year, released in May. The topic will be, as the poster is saying, Mandalorian and his partner movie with respect or relation to the TV series, which is quite well known and very popular and successful. There will be, of course, some vehicles. We cannot say a lot about it. There's a kind of secret keeping we've been asked to consider. Therefore, I just can tell that there are some vehicles. We will not realize a lot of them, but we'll consider a little bit and, of course, update it in the decoration it appears in the movie. Realize it in the same way as you will then see it on the screens.
Mm-hmm. Have you already seen scenes of the movie that are not in the trailer?
Pictures, not really scenes.
Ah, okay.
There's a trailer already around.
So watch the trailer. It's great. It's really cool.
Also. Yeah. But not really ongoing scenes, more some pictures of them.
I love the artwork of the poster. This little trashy almost like an Indiana Jones poster or something from the 80s and 90s. Really cool.
It really has this kind of appearance. Really, also a touch of Indiana Jones, of course done on purpose, but the reason why I've chosen this kind of design, never talked about it.
Maybe we know more when the movie is out and we see what they are up to. Maybe they are in some kind of Indiana Jones-like adventure and on treasure hunt or so.
Maybe. I do not have information about the content, so mere guessing.
Yes. Okay. Then almost the same color as in the poster, but only by coincidence.
We had brought out a few years ago, 17, 18, I cannot tell anymore. VW Buggy, and it lasted in our program for some while. Level 3 item, just around 20 parts, so very simple to assemble, very easy, suitable for really everybody. And we looked for an item which can be realized, granted or guaranteed success by a model builder beginner with no experience at all. And we do it in form of a starter kit. And a suitable and very well-fitting item was the VW Buggy, and therefore we reintroduce it again. Inside the box is, beside the normal plastic frame, also 3 colors. There were paints, a little bit glue, and also a brush. So you have all the basic stuff you need to decorate the item. So target for us, therefore the name the starter kit, because it has the basic stuff you need for the complete item in it. And we are looking for things which were suitable for a beginner, not difficult, easy to do, not spending too much time.
Yeah. And I could guess that a lot of people younger than us, what they don't know is that most cars were kits as well when they came out. So people bought a VW Beetle and then they bought a kit and built the buggy.
Yeah. It was used a lot of times in a Californian beach. It was very suitable for driving on the sand, raised enough from the ground, even if you had not such a stable ground underneath, but wet sand area. And of course, open, perfect for the beach temperature, weather for sure.
Very light, engine in the back, rear wheel drive. Just, it's a fun car, really fun car. Okay, another US car, another Corvette, the C3.
Yeah, it's a similar stuff, also 1:32 scale, so very small. Also around 20 parts, suitable for every beginner, no really knowledge necessary. And as the name starter kit also indicates, he is also 3 colors inside, glue and also paint. So even if you do not have experience and do not want to spend that much time on a model kit, you get a very simple and fast task in front of you. It can be done by nearly everybody. It doesn't need too much time. The demand is, well, no demand on any talent or skill necessary. You just need some minutes and that's it.
Cool. Okay, so really light build. But still, if you're a really experienced model builder, you can do a lot of customization and painting and a lot of potential.
It gives you basis for a really perfect result. If you want to, you can take a chassis from a slot car and put just the body on it, so you can also drive it on a slot race track. If you want to, of course, you can bring out a lot of details. The shape is very fine.
Yeah.
The reproduction of the original is done in a really good manner. So suitable for a beginner, but it gives you a very good basic also for the experienced who want to add a lot of details. So suitable nearly for everybody.
And if you're really into those classic Formula cars, then we have another one here, Aston Martin Ulster in March.
That is currently the old illustration used on the box at the time. So we will bring it out in red because that was, let's say, the color of success for Aston Martin. After driving a red car, the success, or they got more and more success driving on a red car. It was a coincidence, but of course we come back to this strange effect and bring it out in red.
So like the Mercedes that were riding around in silver from one time.
Yeah.
Like the silver arrows,
Also here quite interesting, the Mercedes I mentioned before, the SSKL, was extremely powerful, huge engine. It was more or less like a torpedo on tires. Jaguar was very nice in shape, a little bit closer to the ground, but from the tire housing, this fluent, nice design, more like a luxury street car. And here's again a Grand Prix car. As you can see, the tire houses nearly not existing, just a simple cover. At the rear, it's going, it's not edgy, it goes to in a curved shape. Engine quite small, and the car was very light and small. So despite totally different when it came to the engine size or the performance, the horsepower, it still had to be considered as a really competitor. Despite being so small, the big advantage was the extremely low weight, but still an enough powerful engine.
Okay.
Although to be a dwarf besides all the other cars, it was still a very serious opponent in the races.
Oh, I have to find a picture where they are standing next to each other. Yeah, and then we go up again a little bit in German classics era, the BMW 507, right?
Or let's say the original car was designed by Graf Goertz. It is considered as one of the few cars which has a timeless design, legendary in its appearance, the basic for all roadsters you know nowadays. Extremely finely designed, aesthetic. It really was an expression of a luxury car. Last year we had brought out the BMW Isetta as a model kit.
Yes.
It was produced a year before. And then when you compare these two cars, both coming from BMW, how different these are. The BMW 507, extremely nice, extremely elegant for really just a few rich people existing in the 50s. So very specific, very limited, very elegant. And then, of course, the mass-produced, very round-shaped Isetta. The extreme differences between the two cars, so prominent for BMW, that's very astonishing. And should get a little bit emphasis on these extreme differences between the cars, which were so important for BMW in the 1950s.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, next step up. Here we are at the next anniversary for next year. It's already 25 years of the Fast and Furious movies. Now I feel really old. And so we have some cars and we have a new box design, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's already 25 years ago when the first movie from Fast and Furious came out. It's unbelievable how fast time was just running by. I never expected it was already 25 years ago. But anyhow, it's really that long time ago when it came out, the first movie. In respect to it, there will be a new box design, and we will follow this new style guide and bring out the items we had released in the past, and those which are still existing in our line will be packed in the new style guide.
Mm-hmm. So that's the Dom's 1971 Plymouth here, and then we have this one.
Yeah, that's also driven by the main character, by Dom.
Mm.
And the third one?
The third one is Brian's Eclipse, yeah?
Yeah. Very successful. And of course, in contrast to the others, just from the colors, very eye-catching.
Yeah, absolutely. And last but not least, which is also already in stores, but gets the new box design as well, right? Is Dominic's Dodge Charger, which is one of my favorite from the series.
That's the most prominent one of the four. And of course, depending on the type, it's sometimes level 4, sometimes level 5. Or in the case of the Mitsubishi, it's a level 3. So, yeah, it's actually stuff for everybody, but it just should be stressed just because of this kind of specific. There will be a new style guide, new appearance of the box, following that style guide, which is given to us.
Yeah. All right. That's it for the novelties that are going to be announced in Telford from January 26 to April 26. And of course, in January, we are going to have some more novelties for the rest of the year in Nuremberg. The latest that we are going to speak again, I would say.
Sure, no doubt.
All right. Then, thanks for your time, Jürgen.
Okay, sure. You're welcome.
Have a great day and see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, so long. Bye.
Bye. Hello again for the third time today. And now I'm joined by Ihab again, who is responsible for novelties, military and ships. Hi, Ihab. How are you?
Hello, Alex. I'm fine. Very good. And you? How are you?
Yeah, I wish I would look such as I had such a sunny holiday. We start with our news or with your new products for Telford, which are not that many because the most of your products are going to be announced in Nuremberg and are scheduled for summer and autumn next year. But the first one is something vacation-y as well. So the Queen Mary 2 is one of the most famous cruise ships.
Yeah, it's for me it's the first passenger ship that I know. Queen Mary 2 now in a very high scale, in scale 1 to 400. So it's a very big scale. It's around about 85 centimeters, so
wow,
big model.
Yeah,
high detailed. And the tooling is from 2004, 2005, and only released one time as a standard kit. Yeah, in March 26, the second time. So the tooling is looking very good. So it will be a very, very good reintro and a great model.
Yeah, it's a classic. I would say it's not only a classic for every ship model builder, but it's a classic kit in all model building categories. Nice.
And this kit will have a lot of parts. Sure, it's a big scale model, so we have around about 550 parts.
Ooh. Yeah, that's something. All right. Yeah. Next thing from the military category, also a young classic, I would say, Leopard 2A4, but in a special decoration that we see here in the photo.
Oh yeah, that's a very special decoration. It's a 40 years special decoration, so it's it released for 40th anniversary of the whole Leopard 2 series. and this was the Leopard 2A4 in this announcement, and the Leopard 2A4 will now have the 40 years anniversary. So the idea is to bring this special decoration from the whole anniversary of the Leo 2 now to a model kit in scale 1:35. But it will not only contains this special decoration, it will be also have the classic decoration, the classic versions of the Leopard 2A4. So it will be a whole set with more than one special decorated kit.
Ah, okay. And this decoration, is it only on one vehicle? So just on one unit, or are there more than one of these?
No, so I know only one model, one Leopard tank with this decoration, and this is a unique Leopard tank. It's only for an anniversary show, shown as a special decoration for a special publicum. So
Ah, okay, just for exclusive audience. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything special about the tank as well, like the physique and the model itself, or is it just the decoration?
No, it is the classic tank, the classic model kit of our Leopard 2A4 in scale 1:35. So we have, like in the past, 212 parts. So it will be more focusing for this kind of product on the decoration. So you will have a special painting scheme, and we see here some flags that will be surely also delivered in the new kit. So
the flags are going to be included? The flags on top are going to be included? Ah, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I think that are all the nations that are using the Leopard 284 or the Leopard in general?
Yeah, right. Yeah, all over the years, over the 40 years.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so a really historical model kit for all tank lovers here.
Yeah. And very unique.
Yeah. Okay. And the last one, already, also in April 2026, is a firefighting ship. What can you tell us about this one?
Yeah, it's a classic. So it is also a Revell classic. So it will be the label authentic kit of model building history on it. It is an old mold from 1962, but the mold is checked and will be refurbished. Yeah.
Cool. So 63 years
so I
old.
have here built it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
I can show you here a built-up model of this classic kit.
Yeah. Let me just switch the screen just to your screen here, so that we can see it.
So you see.
Nice.
Yeah. For a kit from this time, very good and cool decorated model kit.
And you can lay the tower flat. You can put the tower up and down.
Yeah, right. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah, you can lay it up, and you have the tower now upside.
Cool.
Yeah. This is a built up model for our for this kit. So it is refurbished. The mold is refurbished. We have a very special scale, 1:87, and you have seen it. It's round about 15 centimeters. 50 centimeters.
50,
sorry.
50. Yeah. It looked quite
50.
big. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a historical model, so it's from a ship that existed when it came out.
Yeah, it is the original firefighter boat from the New York Fire Department from 1938 to I think the early 2000s. So it is
Wow.
it is a very long.
It was a really long running thing then. So the
Yeah,
original
it's a very
was
long running ship.
the original seems to be longer in duty as the model kit. The mold is old. Seems to be in duty for almost 70 years or so. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Cool.
to be honest, I don't know if it's really it's really running as a firefighter boat like the current boats, but it served for the New York Fire Department, maybe as an historical icon or something like that.
Cool. So a lot to be looking forward to. And then we are all excited what is going to be presented in January in Nuremberg as well. Great.
Yeah, surely you can be excited. We have very great models. I think Jürgen and Luke, my colleagues, shown you already their highlights for the first quarter of the year.
Great. So I would say thanks for your time. And if we don't speak anymore, at least on record, then nice holidays and Happy New Year and everything. Let's see what December brings. We talk again maybe in December or then in January before Nuremberg.
Yeah, great. All right.
Great.
Alex,
all right. Thanks for your time, Ihab. Bye.
Have a nice time. Yeah, bye-bye.
You too, bye.